Hello, welcome everyone to another video. Today I'm gonna do the infantry tier list, okay? This one should be quicker, and yes, sorry, I couldn't hold myself, I rage baited again, okay, with the Garwood S tier picture on the thumbnail. I promise I'll stop, but before I do the tier list though, we need to consider one thing, which is how do we value that an infantry commander is good or not, okay? Because like for example when you check cavalry, mages and archers, you can literally just base it out on the amount of damage output they have and the amount of merits you get. Now for infantry we are able to take the merits into account but not the damage, because infantry really doesn't deal that much damage, it's more about the tankiness. Now tankiness comes with an issue though, because if we check for example Garwood and we check tankiness, we could be placing him maybe not S tier but A tier, because the healing, taking your lightly woundeds and transforming them into active troops, it actually brings more tankiness than many of the other heroes, but at the same time, because that hero has such low damage and with its pairings, all you're really doing is just filling your hospital. Now, if you're a massive whale, I'm gonna be honest, if you're a massive whale and a kraken, I still probably recommend to go with 3 infantry marches and bring just like maxed out and like a Mushan Theia with mages. Okay, the main reason is, yes, you're tanking more with 5 marches on the field, but probably the damage output of like having a Magret Zaida max with the other march is outweighing that extra Garwood or like I don't know, Madeline Theia, okay? Because Madeline Theia is a march that gives like a decent amount of merits for infantry. The issue is you check the reports and you're taking a shit ton of sevens. And sure, Krakens can sustain this, I cannot, and even 100 something mil infantry players cannot, okay? Because with infantry you need to consider stamina and the amount of troops / healing, okay? Are you gonna run out of it's not even running out of resources sooner, because like if you check the reports of any Garwood pairing and the Madeline Theia, they barely inflict any set wounds on the enemy. Madeline Theia doesn't really tank that much, it just gets good merits due to the shielding and the amount of set wounds you take. So in conclusion, okay, because I'm starting to talk my mind out, I'm gonna base this tier list on like the performance overall of the march, which means tankiness, but not just pure tankiness, the amount of sevens you get, the amount of merit you get, the amount of damage you can deal, the amount of debuffs you can apply, because that's one of the important parts on heroes, okay? So with that out of the way, let's go straight into the tier list. Okay, so here we have the tier list. I'm gonna start from the bottom, okay, because I think there's some interesting picks, one of them being Tara. Tara for infantry, I'm gonna put her for now. Again, this may change towards the end of the tier list, but I'm gonna place her on A for now. The main reason for this is Tara's second skill. What am I here? Okay, where is Tara? Here. So second skill, while in battle, the legion and 4 surrounding friendly legions gain keen and resistance every 10 seconds. Increase 15% attack, but damage reduction by 10%. So if you're placing this on one of your infantry marches, now you can reduce all the damage taken by all your infantry marches by 10%, which is quite nice. Now, will they recommend you, like, this is not like your top infantry march, but if you're one of those persons that are running like 5 infantry marches, I think Tara has a place on your lineup. Now, what else? Look, if you run out of stamina, it's cool that you use like this guy and this one. I'm not gonna even account that into the tier list, okay? Like that's sub-optimal. What's the fucking name of this one? I forgot. I'm gonna place her at C. Eliana, right? I mean, I'm gonna be honest, she's garbage. The only use she has, at least for me, is merit trading. Like, you put your Garwood Eliana and you just get free merits from trading, and that's about it, okay? The shield factor is low. I mean, okay, I think it's fair enough that I do this, though. Yeah, that should be fine. So for me, it's either top B or like the bottom A, but I think for now I'm gonna stay B. She has some kinda like damage reduction helps. The shield is too low to really matter, but like I don't know, like for merit trading is fine, but apart from that, it's just mediocre as fuck. Theia for now I'm gonna place her below Tara. The main reason is, the only reason you use Theia on a march is with Madeline to get some extra merits, and it comes at the cost of a lot of troops. I don't really think it's like she's really that good. Her main skill is based on buffing your other commander's skill damage, which unless you're using her with Danfel or Moro, or maybe Quan, but even then Quan you lose the synergy on the HP buffs, etc. Like, I don't know, for me it's really not worth it. I prefer Tara over Thea for buffing. Garwood. Garwood is gonna be strong A, above Tara. The issue with Garwood is he deals 0 damage. Okay, so sure you're tanking, but you're tanking like it comes at a cost, which is your hospital, your resources. You're not getting that much merit, and you're kind of wrecking yourself long term. Okay, if you're on final zone and it's like an all-in, yeah, sure, just use Garwood. But if you're like, I don't know, in the first stages, like, sure, you might say I have a lot of resources, but every time you're healing this garbage, like, you're borderline feeding the enemy. Like, again, I prefer that the whale goes with 4 infantry and a max Zaida max, and then he's bringing like Garwood Nika or Garwood Indies or any Frankenstein combo. Okay, for me that's suboptimal. Like, sure, you're tanking, but you could be dealing so much more damage, because at the end the game is about tanking and dealing damage. Okay, a Margaret Zaida will outperform a Garwood, not in tankiness but in performance on the field. So that's just my opinion on it. In this is tricky. I'm gonna put her, I don't know, it's borderline the same as Tara. So the main reason is her first skill, which increases damage received. Like, those types of skills are really good because you're applying an ulti buff on the enemy, so everyone who's hitting that march is benefiting from the debuff. Okay, the issue is this rest of the kit is some counterattack damage reduction, not really worth it for infantry. You're already taking like low amounts of damage. You get 20% HP, which is nice, but like just 20% stats. And then the other one is the gathering skill. The skill damage from this here is really low. I still probably value her above Tara, even though Tara's second skill is really good. But like, when you're facing the enemy infantry, that 20% extra damage taken could help the enemy infantry to die faster. If it dies faster, your infantry survives, you can push into the enemy DPS. Just for that sole reason, I'm gonna give Indies a slight edge over Tara. What else do we have? Okay, Skull. Now here comes the tricky part, because we know we have we have 4 heroes that are like really good and are the main core combos of any infantry player. The issue is, how do I rank those? Because here's the thing, some people will say Skull is the S tier plus, but they gotta say, open field wise, Skull has the whole kit. Now the issue is her 4th skill is garbage. I don't know why they went with such low values. And you can use her with the cavalry build. For example, like, she's not fully locked to infantry as Skull is. Or Gorish, sorry. I'm gonna put her for now on S, and I'm gonna put Skull on S plus for the following reasons. So I'm placing her on S because she's really universal. You can even run her with the mobility tree to go with other 4 cavalry marches using infantry. You can use other combos with her, like for example with Husk. In theory, by me words, is the highest counterattack combo in the game, at least at the moment that he recorded that video. Like, all her skills are good, are open field related, overall really strong. Now the main reason I'm putting S tier plus Goresh over her is that the best infantry march in the game right now is Goresh Kuma. Okay, that's, if you were sending one infantry march, that's the best you can send. Okay, so first of all, we already having that the best pair is related to Goresh. Goresh is always king of rallies slash garrison. Okay, really good anti-storm capabilities, has inside his kit a skill damage that is actually substantial, even though the values are low, because it procs non-stop, it actually accumulates to good decent chunk. Sadly, it has a garrison skill, but overall I'd say due to the synergies, due to the the Spirit Bond Torque, increasing further the counterattack damage, and being able to make the best infantry march in the game with him, I'm gonna rank him on S+, but I gotta say, like, those two are really good, both should be worked on. Okay, what else do we have? Nika. I'm gonna put Nika, I don't know if... like Nika for me is a failure, okay? Like, one, you have a peacekeeping skill, which is meh. Secondly, the main skill is just pure skill damage, as if it was a cavalry hero with an HP debuff, which is nice, but then again, infantry is not, like, it's not designed to deal damage. So sure, every single other march hitting that hero will benefit from it, but you yourself won't, and it's not as good as an HP debuff from, for example, Moro. Apart from that, the rest of the kit is kind of mediocre. Maybe this is too rough, to be honest. Maybe she should be above Eliana, but to be honest, I don't think it's a hero worth even considering, so I'm just gonna place her there. Okay, tricky one, which is Madeline. So Madeline for sure is better than all of those ones. Now the issue is, does she fit into the S tier or not? Because that's my question right now. So I'm not sure. Plus, right now she's not even infantry anymore. She's overall, but she's mainly used with infantry. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it for later on. I'm not really sure where to place her. Husk. Husk I'm gonna put on S tier. I know this might be a bit controversial. The main reason I'm placing him on S is because this hero is like, it just works with infantry or archers, that's it. Some people just use it with cavalry. I do not support that. This hero, all it does is buff your current march. So you can do, for example, Skull, Husk, Gorsh Husk. It really helps with the counterattack damage, which is one of the strong points of infantry. It gives you a lot of attack, a lot of damage. It gives you increased counterattack damage, crit damage to counterattack. So overall, I say it really synergizes well with like the counterattack style of infantry, and for that reason, I'm gonna put him on S tier. Madeline, I'm still debating. Okay, Moro, I'm gonna put him on S plus. I really think this hero is really strong. Shemit has what is it called? Shemit has a garrison skill, but look, he has AoE damage, AoE HP debuff that it's even further amplified by his second skill, and then gives HP buff. Another really interesting march is Kuma Moro. The main reason is because both HP debuffs are not override, so you can stack them both. So you can really go and hit the enemy infantry and really reduce the amount of HP, thus increasing the damage output that everyone else is doing, okay? You can use him with cavalry to, like, I don't know, I personally feel more just the amount of, like, again, like, you're dealing AoE skill damage, you're dealing AoE HP debuff as if it was Kuma. For me, it really helps thinning out the enemy infantry line, and if you're catching, like, for example, Danfel Moro, you go with the shield, you go to the enemy DPS, you bash the enemy DPS into your murder ball. Now every single DPS you caught with the shield now has an HP buff reduction, they will die faster. So yeah, for me, really strong. Danfel. I have some problems with Danfel. So, I mean, I could go to infantry account, but I have this one open. So if we check Danfel, he has a huge skill damage factor, which is 1.6k, so it's a bit like Nika. And then 600 shield factor, I'm gonna be honest, when you're getting swarmed to death, it doesn't really matter, okay? Like, this will be gone in one turn, it barely protects you from any damage. Now, the second skill for me is really interesting. While in the field, the Legion and Freely Legions behind it gain Mercy every 10 seconds. So I make a suggestion about this. Let me see the range on this, because this will affect my understanding and my evaluation of this hero. If it's like a huge range and it's like an open circle, this increases the value for me for this hero, because I can send him on the front line, push with the shield, and now all the other infantry that I have that is behind, they are taking 20% Friendly Legion range damage reduction, which for me is huge, because most of the damage you will take as an infantry is from ranged units. So this skill for me has insane value, but I'm still debating whether the range is good enough for this to be valuable. Maybe it's super thin and you need, like, if it forces me to have all the infantry made like a ball, that's bad, because then I'm taking a lot of AoE damage, okay? So that's what makes me a bit, like, I don't know, I'm debating whether he's like, how good he is, to be honest. Here you get 10% defense and 20% HP. Danfel deals 20% more hero skill damage for every 5% unit count he loses while his rage is building, until he casts a rage or leaves battle. It's a really interesting skill for this 20% extra damage. So this is based on you dying quickly enough so that it gets to the mark. And plus, I mean, both heroes are skill damage, so it's not bad. And then here, when the Legion casts Shield Strike, which is this one, the target Legion gains debilitated and slow for 6 seconds. Debilitated takes 8% more damage from this Legion, which that kinda sucks, to be honest. Because you gotta say, if it was like a plain 20% damage taking debuff, that'd be insane. But like again, like you cast like it. Like, you cast your main skill and then you need to cycle again on the same target to get that extra damage. So it's not bad, like, it's not good to be honest, but neither horrible. Okay, like, this could have been a really strong skill, I guess even busted skill considering all the rest of the kit, but falls a bit short. And then the Awakening, when dealing damage to a Legion affected by Hailing Fury, adds 1 second to the duration of debilitated and slow. This effect can I think for me this is a bit lackluster. With how hard you're getting Swarm as an infantry player, you're casting your skills below that 6 turns, so you don't really need those extra seconds. Maybe here's some more stats, some like attack, like ignoring enemy attack or stuff like that will have been better. So when I see Danfel's kit, I say like it's not bad, it's actually strong. I think I'm gonna put him here, above Husk. So the second skill is really interesting. Sadly, the testing will be really annoying to do, but it can really benefit all your other marches. So for that reason, I'm gonna put him on S. Magro S+, I have no doubts about that one. Okay, Muxiang for infantry. She's not really played much. You can still use her. I think she's like a better Garwood because at least she's got the skill damage factor from the main skill, so I'm gonna, of course the healing is less, but still you get some healing. I'm gonna put her on S, but literally the worst one on that rank. Bahorn, I don't even know if anyone tested him. I haven't tested him myself, so I'm gonna just keep it here, an unknown for me. Kuma, for me right now, the best infantry hero in the game, okay? Like, the amount of HP you can get is absolutely stupid. I saw a report getting 180% more HP, then you have the fourth skill which gives you upwards of 100% more attack. Like, you get more HP from the Awakening skill, you get more stats. Like, yes, sure, he doesn't deal damage, but he's buffing so much your stat that your march is through normal attack, counter-attack damage, is just like destroying everyone, okay? Like, that's the truth. Plus, you're weakening the enemy team, so your range units can literally, like, maybe your Gorish Call, like, gives you better reports in terms of merits or dealing damage because they have like more counter-attack damage buffs, more attack. But the one that's really helping your team win right now is Kuma. And Lake One for me is gonna be here, to be honest, below Skull. I think Skull is more useful than him. This combo is super weird, the Kuma Lake One. Usually all the synergy with the pet, the artifact and everything goes to the main, like to the protagonist that I call, which in this case is Kuma because it's his weapon, etc. But it's Lake One who increases, like, for example, his skill damage through having temporal HP buffs. So the synergy here in this pair is a bit split, but yeah, I think this tier lead, I mean, I don't think there's anything crazy. Things that I think are open to debate, some people I know they're maybe Garwood, but again, like, sure, you can use him as infantry and it will tank for like huge amounts of damage, but the reports are horrible. Same with Thea, and I'm forgetting Madeline though. Okay, Madeline for sure, I consider her better than Muxiang, probably than Husk, so I think I'm gonna do it like this. Yeah, this is gonna be the tier list.